Tonight, Dex used Artie's car as a piñata. Tooki went undercover. And do you think Hoffman needs a vacation? Stick around on the Stumptown After Show on AfterBuzz TV.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Woohoo! It is Wednesday, my loves. Yes, my loves. Welcome back to the Stumptown After Show on AfterBuzz TV. We're here for episode 4, Family Ties. I am your host, Drennan. I'm joined by my fantastic, amazing panel. Who do I have with me? Chae Jones.
Hi, guys.
Hey, and of course we have LaToya Blakely in the house.
Hello.
How are you doing? We just watched episode 4. Why don't we just get down right to it, to initial thoughts, okay? Because this was a good episode. It was very good.
It was a great episode. I think for me, my favorite part was still one of my favorite rock songs playing in the background as you're beating up a Mustang. Joan Jett is like the battle cry of amazingness when shit gets real. And you just want to smash things. And loving rock and roll as you're bashing in a Mustang, even though it's kind of sad to the Mustang. However, I still loved it. That was my favorite part. This entireness of this episode.
I love rock and roll, absolutely. Joan Jett, right? LaToya, yes. How are you feeling after tonight's episode?
It was a really good episode. I feel like every episode gets better and better, and we're starting to learn more about our characters and their relationships, as well as like characters who were mentioned but we didn't see previously. So I really enjoyed it.
Right, and I feel like this episode still is very funny. It was really, I felt like I had some comic relief notes here and there, but to me it was a lot more serious tonight. With some of the things that they were dealing with. We have a killer on the loose. Someone gets captured. We'll talk about it. A little bit of stump moments that happen, which we'll save for our special segment presented by Chae. And of course, we have news presented by LaToya. And, stick around for predictions. And if you're tuning in live to the live chat, we have one of those. But if not, that's totally fine. Wherever you're getting your podcast, wherever you're watching us on YouTube, let us know your comments, your questions, your theories for next week. So without further ado, let's get on to the first major topic, which was, of course, taking the man, or should I say men down. Dex has a vendetta, and she is rightfully so with that vendetta against...
Yes,
thank you.
Knockout.
Thank you very much. Vito in the booth. Not only Randall... aka Tapper, right? Yeah. We also have to take down Artie, because Artie is just shady. So what are your thoughts on Dex's kind of like whole taking initiative to take these men down? She wants to avenge Candace because she doesn't want Candace to lose custody of her child, Mila.
I find sometimes you have to bust things open. You have to do a little bit of
car.
damage. Like the car.
Like the Mustang.
Luckily it wasn't your face and it wasn't your house. Sometimes you have to bust things down or bust just windows. I'm busting the windows out of your car to get like the reaction, because you thought I was going to just sit idly by while you took a child you didn't even want, or just take money and destroy the client that you had at first just because she didn't have enough. No, honey, we don't play them games today.
I love it.
I'm just, tell me if I'm wrong.
No, I mean, she's not wrong. Dex did have a vendetta, rightfully so, as you said. He just did not nice things to her as well as to their client. I mean, I thought there was some level of like duty to a client, right? That he completely betrayed, and she did what she needed to do. For sure.
Oh my gosh, but I absolutely loved Tooki kind of. Tooki taking one for the team.
He is the best actor. Like, he's one of those character actors that you just love to see in a show or a movie. They bring that comic relief in the most amazing way, and you always remember their faces. Like, no, even if sometimes you don't remember their name, you know their faces, and you know you're about to just have that moment of just comic relief, laughter. But in a way, he always brings it serious at the same time. He does both in a very intrinsic way that I love about him as an actor in whole.
Well, let's drop his real name. It's Adrian Martinez.
It's Adrian Martinez. In case,
Look him up.
Yeah, but however, there are some character actors you just don't know their name, but you listen to their work and you love it. It's almost like even people call Stanley Tucci a character actor in certain ways because of the way he's able to blend. Like a character you would have never thought he could be able to play. He does it flawlessly. And he has had a long career from going from Broadway to Oscar-worthy performances.
I think he's different, though. Adrian Martinez, though.
Hey, if he's watching this, he's going to take the compliment and we're going to keep on pushing.
In terms of the work that they get, like, anyway.
He's been in this business a long time. The fact that he's still here and still rocking it, hey.
But bringing it back to Stumptown.
Exactly. Thank you, LaToya.
Adrian Martinez as Tooki did a phenomenal job. As you said, he was
hilarious.
A great source of, like, comic relief. While also being extremely, like, believable and, like, working hard for the cause.
And you wanting to root for him. Yeah, get those files. Get out of there, dude.
And I love the fact that he was like, I am not a janitor. My mom worked hard to make sure that I wouldn't have to be a janitor.
Yo, let's break the stereotype. I think that was my favorite line in this entire season. Let's break the stereotype. And the fact that obviously he's a bigger guy, so him running. I was surprised he got that far. I'm not even going to front.
I think he's surprised. Check out his Twitter. He's like, I'm still recovering from that sprint.
But I'm like, in my mind, when he stopped, I'm just like, okay, what are you going to do now? Like, I thought he could have punched, but I really wasn't expecting it. But when he did, I was like, you thought you got me, huh? Mm-hmm. Bam! I'm safe.
I was thinking heart attack was on the horizon. He looked very pained.
Not heart attack.
Not a heart attack.
Not heart
like
attack.
He was struggling. Sorry.
Shout out to you, Tooki. You're the true MVP. You know, you went in there as a janitor and you got the files, but
in his pants.
Right, and he did get captured by. Well, he didn't get captured. Someone else got captured.
Kinda.
But you know, didn't go completely according to Pam, but he did get the duplicate files.
For sure.
So shout out to you. You are, to me, he's like the MVP of this episode. I don't care what y'all say. Were you going to say something?
True. I was like, real quick before we move on, because I know you wanted to move forward. Can we talk about that guard behind Artie just eating? It was like a bucket of chicken or something. He's just chewing on it, like, as Artie's, like, saying.
He's just back up.
Like, I'm like, is your backup as this man is just eating food? Like, that's not a correct backup, sir. You don't bring food to a interrogation or intimidation.
I know. I do, though. But shout out to Artie, because Artie has so much. Notice how he never does like the dirty work. He has someone always doing it for him. He was having Dex doing it beforehand.
Oh,
that guy was
true.
probably going to do his dirty work if Tooki didn't cooperate, but he did. But anyways, kind of like, let's go on to Artie. We're going to say anything else about that situation? No?
We can go to Artie.
Okay, Artie. Because Artie, you know, we come to find out through the arrest of Dex, because Artie, the thing what I was going to say about Artie before I totally got sidetracked was that he's so, like, calculated. He doesn't react instantly. He, you know, you see Dex smashing your Mustang, you think that he would go off, but no, he's like, I'm going to get you later, Dex. I'm going to get you later. So, and that's what he does. He gets her arrested, and he gets her car towed. And so, but shout out to Lieutenant Cosgrove, because she does not like, we were talking about this last week, she does not like her son, Artie, by any means. We come to find out Artie stole $30,000.
From the department.
From the department, which we'll talk about a little bit more in depth later. But Camryn doesn't like him, and I feel like there's something else, maybe they have more history. I like to believe that, because, you know, I don't ship them, but I feel like there was more history between those two, because, you know, Camryn's been around Lieutenant Cosgrove has been in the force for quite some time, so there's got to be more to that story too as well, I presume. But anyways, Dex gets arrested, she gets let go from Cosgrove. But also, it's kind of sucks, because the breaking point, I think, with Artie's character was him seeing Candace's daughter get taken away. And so what were your thoughts on kind of like the shift in Artie seeing the baby taken away? Because we come to find out that Artie actually had a daughter who passed away because it was kind of like a one-night stand, basically. 9 months later, he stole the $30,000 in order to help pay for the baby, but the baby ended up passing away because the baby was born with medical issues.
Yeah.
What were you guys' thoughts on that? Because that was a lot to like, whew.
Yeah, well, I think it was a combination of like his experience with his child, but also Dex just straight calling him out. She was like, I've had enough of your BS. Like, we're not taking it. How could you be that terrible of a person? And it's like it all finally sunk in. Like,
Right.
Yes, I am a crappy person, and maybe I've crossed the line this time. So it was nice to see that kind of break in that exterior and that hardness for him to come to her house and to be so persistent. And even then to go from being angry and like yelling at her to being like, I really need to talk. please let me in.
I know Chae loved that scene when he visited her doorstep.
It gave me so much joy. Okay. But before I get into that, I will say I liked in the way we got to see a breakdown of Artie's character in the way when Dex finally confronted him, because, sir, this is something you helped create. You helped take a child from a loving parent to someone who will not be a loving parent, who legit might just abuse the child. And you're seeing it. And Candace almost had a breakdown on the street. I actually thought she was going to fall to her knees once the car had ran away. So Dex calling you on your BS, like LaToya says, on being a douchebag. It's time to own it. You are one. You keep saying people don't change. Maybe it's true people don't change. They evolve, they shift, they change. At least not enough. But there's a reason you become the way you are. You don't just wake up to be a monster, to be evil, or any sort of cruel in this world. You harden yourself or you turn yourself into that because of something else. So, but now on to when he came to her house. That is seriously still my favorite. I'm sorry. I wish more people in television did that, when people just showed up at your house just talking nonsense. Why does nobody else slam the door in your face? I feel like that's a legit question.
I'm sure there have been lots of doors slammed in TV history.
I feel like not enough in the way they did it in the show, at least in this episode itself.
Consecutively, multiple times. Shut down.
Because the knocks were hard, obviously, like you said, and then they got less intense.
Yeah.
As each door slammed.
When he realized he had no power.
Yeah, you came to my house. You want me to listen to you, sir. That is not how you're gonna get my attention today. If you really take a seat. However, her brother also kind of read the act a little bit. He said, "Do you want it to help?"
I feel like he was her moral compass. He keeps her on the right path.
He is so amazing. He is. I just love him.
Yeah, he's definitely there for not only Dex, but definitely Gray as well, because Gray's gone through some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Ansel kind of spilled some tea about the past with him and Dex and how... Did he mention that he was taken away at one point?
And he was taken away, and then she promised
to get him back, and she did.
And he was like, "I always believed that you would find a way."
Right.
He's like that one pure character in this show.
He's like a Jiminy Cricket in a sense.
Jiminy Cricket. Wait, no, Tiny Tim.
No, like in the conscience aspect of his character, his personality. He's that person
She takes us through with these characters in these other shows.
What? I can't have other references?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about Jiminy Cricket.
I'm not talking about Jimmy. I'm just saying he reminds me in the sense of being the conscience, of being your moral compass, like you said.
Yeah. No, Jiminy Cricket. Hashtag Jiminy Cricket.
I'm gonna Google Jiminy Cricket later. Gotta get up to date.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, anyway.
That's another conversation, really.
Yeah.
I can't right now.
Anyway,
30 years ago.
Before we move on, actually, I just want to shout out to all the AfterBuzzers out there watching and listening to us week after week. Thank you guys for letting us be the ESPN of TV Talk. We really appreciate you guys. And if you could do us a favor, a solid, give us that 5-star review on iTunes. And if you do, we will shout you out on the show. Right, Chae? Right, LaToya?
We will.
Shout out. We like them.
And also, give us those questions, those comments. Hit us up in the DM. Subscribe to our multiple channels. We have multiple. Like I said, we got the reality competitions. We're on the TV dramas tonight. And, of course, we got one of our favorites, superhero sci-fi channel. Hell yeah.
Which is like Ollie's favorite.
Right. I'm a nerd. What else? Well, you guys are on also other after shows, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which ones? Shout them out. Promote.
I'm on Sorry for Your Loss.
There you go.
The Facebook original.
Yes.
And I am now the new correspondent for Disney News Weekly on Popcorn Talk.
Right.
Well, that's exciting.
You, LaToya?
I was on The Politician. It just wrapped, so you can go back and check out our past episodes.
Yes,
it's
totally.
a great show.
On our multiple channels. So subscribe, like, share with your friends and family. And until then, you can also catch me on Drag Race After Show on AfterBuzz TV, of course. Yeah, and American Horror Story also as well. But until then, thank you again for letting us be the ESPN of TV Talk. Without further ado, let's get on to another one of my personal favorite characters, Detective Hoffman, because he's also going through kind of a vendetta as well, just as Dex is. So Hoffman, come to find out that his partner Darius was murdered by Kane, who just got freed. He's a murderer.
Yes, he's a murderer.
Right.
Yes. So I was a little confused. I thought in the beginning episodes that we found out that his partner had died, But in this episode, it wasn't a partner. It was a CI.
He was a CI.
And so their relationships and titles, I think, have maybe gotten a little crossed over in these episodes. And so even when Detective Hoffman says he was my friend, Lieutenant Cosgrove is like, no, he was an informant. And so I'm interested to see even more about their relationship and really how it began and I guess how it grew to what it was.
Yeah, how did he exactly like get killed and like how like I want to know more about his relationship with what is Darius's wife's name? I did not catch her name. Did anyone catch her name?
I heard it, but I don't remember it.
I didn't even hear it. I was like listening because that's what I like to look at or what I look for with people because I don't like referring to them as Darius's wife.
Well,
Exactly.
her real name is Zulay, so I mean we can always call
The
her
actor?
Yeah,
Yes.
the actress' name is Zulay. She's been in a lot of things, but we can always call her that instead of just calling her the wife.
And you know what? I looked it up, and they didn't have a character name. Like, they had her as
Really?
Darius's wife, but it also said that she was only in one episode, and that's also not true. I mean, we've seen her more than once.
This is the second time, yeah.
So, but I also feel like I heard Crystal, but maybe
Crystal?
that's not true.
Dang.
It might have been actually.
We'll have to be on the lookout.
If you're out there listening,
We have to rewatch.
let us
episodes
know.
2
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need to check that
please
out.
Let us know.
Definitely. But what were your thoughts on kind of Hoffman? You know, he even kind of goes over to Gray's house at one point, or the bar, whatever you want to call it. And he's like, we got to like look out. I highly advise you to look out for the people that you love because Kane's on the loose, basically. He's armed and dangerous. And Hoffman's kind of like not on the case anymore, according to Lieutenant Cosgrove, because she wants him to take that vacation in Hawaii.
He gonna take that vacation, all right?
I don't know about that. And it's really it's really fun. No, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
It's funny because I feel like Hoffman is kind of like gonna go in a similar route as Dex to kind of go outside the law in order to take down Kane. And I think that Dex is almost, she seems to be going a little bit more into the law rather than the PI route, even though she's certified now. Jumping ahead, but like it's interesting how they're kind of shifting roles in a sense, despite them being one's an officer and then the other one is a PI. But anyways, you were gonna say?
I was gonna say vacation. He's not gonna take a vacation. I think he really is gonna he's gonna stay on the case, just obviously outside the law. Texas, she hasn't got certified yet. She still needs $1,500.
Well, at the very end of the episode, Artie hands her
The
basically
certification.
right. Yeah, at the
That's what
very
he handed
end.
her? I thought it was cash.
No, but yes, in the beginning I thought it was going to be cash too.
I literally thought, oh, here's $11,000. Pay Sue Lynn. Don't like.
Yeah.
jail.
No, it was certification. Of the completion
I jumped
of the
ahead.
hours.
Oh, then I completely missed
There you
that.
go.
Cool.
By the way, I just looked up for Zulay's character. Somebody said it's Denise, possibly. In season.
Oh,
Maybe
we were
Denise.
totally off. It could have been
Denise.
Denise.
That's it's on the fandom, so I'm guessing that might be from the graphic novel because I looked into the IMDb and it just state her as widow of Hoffman's friend.
Yeah.
That is how she is
Wow.
credited on IMDb. But
But
that's
she
it.
still get her
I have a
checks,
feeling
though,
that
so
role is
it's
going to
okay.
expand. She'll get a name.
Eventually. I know. I feel like you would important characters. Typically you get their name dropped when they're first introduced. But anyways, we'll see. We will see.
She did have it was unfair to say, but she kind of had a point. Like, you said you're going to protect my husband, too, and he's dead, sir, so.
Well, since we're talking about Zulay, I really like that quote when she said, "You need me to be scared so that you can be the hero." Like, to me, that was such a powerful quote, and she took the power away from him. Like, basically, like, I don't need you to protect me. You failed once, and, like, I'm relying on myself. Which is a little in contrast to what we saw of her in the beginning when she came to the station for his help. So
She went to get out a parking ticket.
Right.
you know,
now I'm looking at her side.
my life in your hand.
She's like, I don't like to drop your name.
It was
but-
very interesting to see her go into the prison to talk to, her husband's killer.
I mean, but what else she gonna do? Like,
Because she was afraid.
She understands, yeah, but just because you're in prison doesn't mean your reach is like gone or anything. You still have resources outside of prison. You have connections. You can get to me. You can get to my child. You already took my husband. Oh, so you need me to show up? How you doing?
But was she telling the truth? We don't know.
Right.
I mean, how does prison records not have audio?
Right.
Like I
That's
thought
true.
some prisons actually had audio.
They record phone calls, not in-person visits.
Oh, they don't?
Wait,
Okay.
they don't. I thought they also recorded the in-person ones.
No.
Oh.
They're not even listening. Are they listening at least? Like, they're not recording?
I mean, I don't think they're like officially listening, but they're always like monitoring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. This is informative to me. Thank you, LaToya.
Yeah,
I think
anytime.
this is exactly why you're on this panel.
So the things I'm confused about for Kane's release is the fact that
He wasn't released.
I mean, yeah, he wasn't. His escape.
Right.
His escape.
They broke him out.
His escape in the rain, by the way. I'm wondering about that driver. Who was the driver?
That's a good question.
And if maybe she was the driver.
No, that driver was in the car, and I'm pretty sure didn't survive.
No, they said the driver wasn't there. The driver in the bus and the guard in the bus are dead. The one that was in the car was nowhere to be found.
I don't know. I remember seeing a scene with the car upside down and the driver in the car.
Yeah, but now when the police showed up, the driver wasn't.
Yeah. Even if that's true, I don't think it was her.
True, but it'd be interesting to us if it was.
Interesting.
But we never really addressed the question of like Detective Hoffman and
Of what? Sorry.
and his role in this episode of like
He's gonna go full on vigilante role.
possibly.
He's so
in the sense-
stressed.
Well, because I feel like he feels it's his fault that Darius is gone, and that comes with his own guilt. And now that Kane's escaped, and nobody seems to care that he does understand Kane just a little bit more than they do.
Yeah.
Like he understands he's not like in Mexico. He's not in Canada. He has business still here. He's gonna stay in Portland. The question is where in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so funny. You do so much like theorizing and like she's creating
Mapping
her
it out.
own, right? Like storylines.
I like it's like my little personal murder board. Like I like to
See?
like
There you go.
diagonal strings.
I do like that he went to Gray though and warned him and really said like we both know what's up and so do what you need to do and I'm gonna do what I need to do to protect the people that like we care about. I appreciated the way he did that. It was kind of like we see you.
It's
I
like
see you.
I'm like, oh, they're actually looking out for each other. I
Right?
love Gray was like, oh, we're dating now? It was so freaking funny.
That was actually really. Oh, we're definitely dating. Okay, but my question while we were watching that scene is, Gray, who broke your nose? It could have just been the way the light of the shot, but I legit thought
Jake Johnson's nose.
I know. I'm like, now we're not talking about Gray. We're talking about Jake.
I thought his
What if
nose
it-
was broken, and in my mind I was wondering if his character broke his
I
nose.
think
at a
that's
later
just
time.
his nose.
Really, like it looks just a little crooked. My bad.
Maybe it was just like the lighting.
That's what
Maybe.
I was so like. It was bugging me watching that scene. I was into the scene, but I also was just thinking, did you break your nose?
We're all imperfect. What can we say?
I have some crooked.
There's nothing
stuff
wrong
about
with
me.
it. I was-
Right? Like, don't look at my face too hard. I don't want you.
It distracted me
asking
for a second. I was so confused.
Don't zoom in that camera.
Right?
Don't you dare zoom in that camera. Anyways, imperfections. Anyways, well, let's move on to something other than noses. Sorry.
thought
Let's
process.
get on to like the epilogue and the showdown, the ultimate team up. Epilogue. Which I didn't see coming. It made sense as everything kind of came to fruition with Artie and Dex. They teamed up to kind of find out the whole school issue with Randall. We come to find out that he's been using the school to kind of like as coverage for his counterfeit pills, basically.
Yeah, so drug trafficking.
Right. And then, of course, we got our epic fight scene. We need at least one fight scene in Stumptown each episode. So I was really happy. I was like, if we get an episode without a fight scene, I'm going to be really upset. I'm still going to watch. Thank you. I'm still going to watch. But, I'm going to be really upset. But I was really happy. And also who teamed up with them, homegirl, another MVP, Sue Lynn.
Sue Lynn, he
So,
came through.
What are your thoughts on how everything worked out almost near perfectly in this episode?
I loved it because Sue Lynn is a businesswoman,
Right.
but she also protects what's hers, and the reservation is hers. And the school you're supposed to build me 2 years ago is you have drugs in it. That really goes against who I am as a person.
Yeah, and
what
we
I
already
stand
know.
for.
We already know in the past she is not here for drugs at all.
Like at all. So at first when they're having the dinner and she's just saying, "Oh, I'll take 30%." You're on my. I'm taking 30. Sir, you don't understand. He's like, deal. And then Dex just walks in. It was like the perfect little setup.
As was like probably one of my favorite scenes in Stumptown by far.
I
so
love
far.
Sue Lynn's bodyguard. I don't know what it is about him. He's just always stoic and he just sits there and his face is like mostly always downplayed. But I'm always just interested to see if he's going to make a shift in facial expression.
Well,
He was
did.
wearing
He
a
got
wire
little
and
smile
everything.
at the
Yeah,
end
a
as
little
he
smile. He's like
did that reveal.
showing the wire. But girl power for real in this episode was strong. Because even though Sulin and Dex obviously have different views on basically everything, there are certain things they do see eye to eye on. I think also that's one of the reasons why Sulin still lets her come to the casino, still run up a debt in a way. Maybe partly because she feels guilty about Benny and how when they were younger, that whole relationship, but also maybe she also sees part of herself in Dex. And even though she is very standoffish and boss lady about it, she does actually like Dex. There actually is a like between them. It's more of a, I think their love-hate relationship is just that. It's really a love-hate.
No, I agree that. I agree with that because it's almost like the episode is called Family Ties. Maybe she sees Dex as a part of her family. She doesn't want to.
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe not admit that, but
yeah.
You remember the scene where she ran into Ansel? Remember in the bar? She's like, it's been so long, and like she looked like she missed him. You know, clearly there was a connection between her and Ansel. Like her face lit up. I've never seen Sulin that happy yet. You know, so
for sure,
it was so sweet to see her like kind of show that emotion towards Ansel. So I definitely kind of feel like I have like a new perspective on Sulin, you know, because I kind of looked at her as like, oh God, don't go after Dex, you know, I don't want this to be about women against women. And also shout out to Lieutenant Cosgrove because she let Dex go. So it really was like not
and got her car back.
Yeah, this episode was completely like against women. It was, you know, taking down the man, which was successful in this episode.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I loved Gray's scene with Ansel, but it also in a way made me upset.
Wait,
like,
the gun scene?
Well, no, before
when he told him to take
vacation, and he just asked, "Did I do something wrong?" Like that actually broke my heart because Ansel just enjoys being at the bar, being with Gray. Mm-hmm. He loves it. I think that is like his favorite thing to do in his day. And that actually broke my heart when he asked him if he did something wrong. Because even though Ansel doesn't know whatever is happening in Gray's life, he is not dumb. He's aware of and far more observant than I think even Gray or Dex gives him credit for. Mm-hmm. So he knows something is off with Gray. Right. Obviously, Gray's not telling him. But I think when he says it, he says, I just need you to take a couple days off. He's like, maybe this is like best for me. He's trying to protect me in a way. So I will do it. I'm not going to be happy about it. Mm-hmm. But...
definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely got scared. Speaking of the gun thing, though, when Gray picked up the gun, I was thinking, oh, great. You know, it's like that old saying, never show a gun unless you intend to use it. So I'm really afraid because why else would you show that damn gun? Any more thoughts on how the episode went down? I did mention earlier that Dex is certified. And unfortunately, though, Gray got captured by the end, which scared me. And we were watching it together. And LaToya saw me like jump because I looked away for 1 second and our boy Gray gets snatched, basically. And there was this huge jump scare from me. Any more thoughts?
I was upset by that. I'm sorry.
He got jumped.
No, you heard a sound and it's just running water. I'm going to put down the gun. I'm not putting down the gun until I'm back in my office to make sure ain't nobody in there. You don't put down your safety net yet, okay? You keep it in your hand. But I liked how he fought. Granted, it was 2 against 1, but I liked how he fought hard.
He did.
I think he got some skills.
It a fight, right?
He's got some skills.
He wasn't an easy capture.
No, he still got some skills.
But I liked how when he got in the car, he was like, really? Like, you could have just walked in. Like, oh, that was not necessary.
I would prefer to just walk into the bar, personally.
So. And then Kane was in the passenger seat, right? He was in the... Did it show the driver?
I think the driver is that Frank dude that he went to go see.
Okay. Because I'm thinking, okay, well, what if it was Danielle or Crystal?
I mean, I like that we can tell that Gray's definitely concerned, but he's not consumed with like worry or fear. He's kind of like, this isn't a good situation. I would prefer not to be in it, but I am. So how am I going to get out of it?
Yeah.
And so I kind of like that approach.
I definitely think he's been in hot water before. You know, he has a criminal background, so he's definitely not he's not weak-hearted by any means necessary.
I feel like this is just a time where he's like, I am just going to have to
stay calm.
Yeah, stay calm and go with whatever is going to happen, but also while I'm doing that, plan my escape route.
Mm-hmm. And protect the people around me.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Just keep Ansel and Dex's name out your mouth and we good.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what else we're good with? Our special segment, right, Chae?
Hey, guys. So we're going to play our little special segment called You Just Got Stumped. still love that sound effect. So, we're each going to tell you something about this episode that stumped us. Obviously, because it's called Stumptown, in case, you're savvy about it. So, Ollie, you're going to go first.
No! Why do I have to go first?
I said so.
Hey, you play the pixie dust sound effect and then you go to me? Okay. Typecast.
As you're wearing pink, so.
It's
Red,
Pink.
what stumped me in this episode? I feel like it was this episode was unique because it wasn't like a huge shock or twist in the episode. I think there were little tids and bits of kind of getting stumped. I guess what stumped me the most was just seeing Darius's wife, have prior meeting with Kane, because I really didn't see that coming. And I think that maybe we'll see her again, kind of like LaToya, you already said that her role might be more expanded upon, because Hoffman, clearly they have a relationship. I don't think that's how it's going to end. I think there's going to be something else coming. Oh, God. Anyway. So what did you think? What did you guys think?
Toya?
I guess Dex showing up at the end with Sue Lin and Tapper, like that kind of caught me off guard. And when she sat down, I didn't immediately put together that her and Sue Lin were on the same team.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, I'm going to say Gray's capture. I mean, only because you put the gun down.
You're still not over it.
I'm not over that. Why? Granted, like you've been to prison. You keep things on you.
It's been a minute.
I don't care. It's been 6 years, but there are some lessons you keep with you. Okay. Okay, Gray.
Okay.
Speaking of being to prison and having a gun, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. A felon with a gun.
Oh, that's true.
True, but technically I ain't get caught with it, so you can't really place me at the scene of the crime with that gun.
I love it. Well, thank you, Chae. Thank you again for another marvelous, edition of You Just Got Stumped. And if you guys are tuning in, let us know what stumped you in this episode. And LaToya, you got a little bit of news for us, right?
I do have news. I'm excited to talk about this. So tonight we're talking about Camryn Manheim, who plays Lieutenant Cosgrove. As we've seen, we're now on episode 4, and we've seen that women and strong women are really what this show's about. And so Camryn Manheim has an article, there's an article in the dispatch.com talking about Camryn Manheim and talking about how she took this role because of the female empowerment. And there's this quote from the article that I really like. She says, "I'm so grateful that at 58 years old, I am still considered a formidable force, and I'm asked to come play these characters that are real badasses."
First of all,
Hell yeah.
she does not look 58.
I was just about to say that. She looks amazing.
She does look
58.
amazing. But you know what I really like about her character is that she's not the kind of person that like abuses her authority or like puts it in your face. Like she's very calm and she's very respectful. But when you try her, she lets you know.
Right.
So like when she told the U.S. Marshal, "Do you see that big office in there?" She basically was like, "Because I run this." And like, "You've asked us for our help, and if you want our help, I suggest you to play nice."
And you're a guest in my house.
Right.
Recognize it.
Right. So I am applauding Camryn and the beautiful women of this show and the job that they're doing and for being like strong women who support each other.
Absolutely.
In a way, it kind of gives me the vibes of when she used to be on Ghost Whisperer, because that was also a female-led show. So and obviously her character's still different, but like the power she holds is amazing. I think all the women actually in the show, the power they hold is, like just showing Hollywood, we're here to stay, recognize it, or be gone.
Oh, like, I'm pretty sure, like, I completely recognize it. And, like, women aren't going anywhere, Chae. Like...
Well, so I think they need a reminder sometimes.
The men, the toxic men and their fragile masculinity.
Really need to be reminded.
Absolutely, hell yeah.
They need to get hit over the head.
They need to watch Stumptown
and
on ABC on Wednesdays.
Love that the women in the show use their power to do good, whereas the men we've seen so far abuse their power to take advantage of other people.
There were some shady women though, and remember what's her name? Caitlin.
Oh yeah. How quickly I forgot.
Megan. But no,
technically, Caitlin, she wanted to get out. She was bad-ish, but she fell in love.
Yes, but overall, it is the men who are showing their asses. Absolutely, completely, 100%.
And before we go, I have to say, since we were talking about Camryn, that she is an Emmy award-winning actress.
Yes.
She won an Emmy for her role in The Practice, where she played attorney Eleanor Frutt.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to you, Camryn.
Right,
You're
shout
killing
out.
it. And I want to see Lieutenant Cosgrove get like her hands dirty. Like they're not like that. But I want to see her like get a shootout and like take some men down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Her and Dex team up. I want to see like a 70s montage. Well, maybe they already did a 70s montage. An 80s montage with Dex and Cosgrove. Anyways, thank you so much, LaToya, for the news. It was so nice to hear from Camryn and why this role is so important to her. But we do have to wrap up, unfortunately. So why don't we get to our quick predictions for the next episode?
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Well, now we have to find Gray.
Right.
yeah, for sure.
And obviously, Hoffman comes to Dex for help.
Right.
I'm sorry, a big old knife between a guy's legs. I cannot wait to see how that unfolds. That will absolutely be my favorite scene ever in history now. But prediction-wise, I really just think now Gray's gonna get things done. She's gonna get her friend back. But also that means she's now on Kane's radar, which is something Gray didn't want. Which also means now that Ansel's on Kane's radar too, which isn't a great thing at all.
And where is Artie gonna fall into this?
Artie got connections too, so I feel like she might pull him in and say, "Thank you so much for certifying me. Now I need you to use those resources because you now feel and you care about things to help me protect what's mine."
LaToya, what are you thinking?
Well, before we talk about predictions, I just want to remind everyone that we are on a break next week.
Right.
The show is taking a break, so we will not be here. Very sad, very, very sad. But as far as my predictions, yeah, I'm interested to see, kind of what happens in this pursuit of finding Gray. Based on the preview of next week's episode, to me, it seemed like Dex wasn't as concerned in the beginning. Like when she was told about Hoffman that there's a missing person and that missing person is Gray, she seemed to kind of be like, okay. Like, what's really happening?
That's true.
Yeah, she didn't seem that concerned. So I'm interested to see where that storyline goes. And I think we will see more of the widow, Darius's widow. So I'm also interested to see how her character grows. I don't know if that's a prediction. I mean, we'll see more of her. That's my prediction.
No, that's good. I would like that very much. Shout out to the knife scene. That's one way to get out of paying for a check. If you're on a date, I will take that into consideration next time I go on a date.
Well,
Dex.
threatening a guy's parts is the best way to get information because he really wouldn't like to lose it.
Right.
If
I need to get my information, Chae.
If I do
on that
damage
date.
to it, you might not be nowhere near a hospital, so you will bleed out. So what's more important?
Chae, you're starting to scare me with these guns and knives and bashing windows.
I have a pretty dark side.
Goodness,
Sorry.
guys.
We need that whip sound effect. Well, I don't know what's going to happen on this show, but guess what? I'm reading Stumptown,
He
y'all.
finally got it.
Volume 1, and I'm very excited to see kind of like the parallels between the comic book or the
She
graphic
actually
novel.
does
and,
look like her.
Right? Oh my god. I'm like, at first I'm like, oh, Kobe Smulders is amazing, but she literally looks like Dex from the graphic novel. Well, unfortunately, we do have to wrap up. And LaToya did bring up we are on a week break. We will be back for October 30th for the 5th episode of Stumptown. Until then, where can I find my amazing panel on social media?
You guys can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram.
I am on Instagram at LaToya_Blakely, and I'm on Twitter at Blakely LaToya.
Yeah, I'm going to miss you guys so much for that week break. But until then, y'all, I'm going to miss you AfterBuzzers as well. Follow me on all social media platforms, Ollie Drennan at Ollie Dreamer. Until then, we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.